Hello, Longbirdie Mom. I am so excited. It's getting closer to Christmas, and some people have traditions. They always make certain things during the holidays and stuff. Could be cookies, could be Chex Mix, or it could be something from scratch. So good. Homemade tamales. Um, this started, I don't know, like 10 years, no longer than 10 years ago. I don't even know if I can tell you what year it was because I, of course, cut it out of a newspaper. I got a lot of my recipes out of newspapers and magazines and stuff because back then we didn't have the internet. And so this recipe, it was in probably 2010. I just found a little clipping of something else. Roasted strawberries. No, that's not what we're making today. We are making homemade tamales on my countertops. See, that's what I don't like about my countertops is they get water on them and you can't even see it because it's such a mess. So I'm going to let this dry out. But anyway, so homemade tamales. So I've got to make a roast. I've got to take my chilies and hydrate them, or you can get canned chilies and the sauce and just kind of grind them up and stuff into a paste. But this is a long process and it's a lot easier if you have help. But I've never really had help making these. I've always done them by myself. This is my recipe here. I've got it. It is red chili beef for tamales. There's tamales with fresh masa. And then also chicken and tomatillo filling for tamales. I've never made those ones. I've got black bean corn and Anaheim chilies. Ooh, that sounds really good. But I've never made those ones either. I've always made the red chili beef filling for tamales. And it's actually not that hard to make. But like I said, it is a long process and we have to make a roast first. So we're going to get started on that roast. While that roast is in the oven for 4 hours, I'm going to make the chili sauce and all that stuff so that we can have that ready. So when we are ready to put it all together, we can just assemble it. I've got my turkey roasting pan out because I've got 2 roasts out here. I was going to put it in my little glass pan for baking cakes and stuff, but did not have enough room. I might have because these are kind of small. So this one's $19.60. Yeah. 2 pounds, 18 ounces, $8.99 a pound. Oh my goodness. That's a lot of money. But I got 2 of them. This one, what is it? It's a beef cross rib roast. The other one is a cross rib roast as well. And it is also 2 pounds, 15 ounces. So what we're going to do is just get this in my pan here. I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm not even going to put any oil or anything on these. We are going to season them up with all of our seasonings. I just looked at the recipe and I don't even follow that recipe anymore. I just kind of make it myself now. So a little bit of Mrs. Dash. My oven is preheated right now to 350 degrees. We are going to roast it, I guess you can call it, at 350 degrees for half an hour, and then we're going to turn it down. This is my chili pepper. And if I was going to make a roast just for, like, with carrots and carrots and potatoes and stuff, I would use most of these ingredients minus the chili pepper and cumin. But since this is all going to be for my tamales, and this is going to make a lot of tamales, that was, oh gosh, what did I just put on it? Garlic, oh, seasoning salt. I know it's a lot, but it's so good. Onion, some cumin. I love the smell of cumin. It's so fragrant. Some black pepper. And because I put seasoning salt on it, I am not going to add any additional salt to it. We are going to put in 2 cups of water in the bottom, and we're going to put this in the oven. Like I said, I actually, you know what, I'm going to add a little bit more water to that because 2 cups did nothing to the bottom of that pan. Wow. So I'm going to add 2 more cups to that, or maybe 1 more. We'll have to see how much in the bottom. Anyway, so we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for half an hour, and then once that half an hour comes, it's going to kind of brown the roast a little bit. You can take this roast and put some oil on it and dirty up another pan and brown both sides and then throw it in. I do not do that. Like I said, I use a higher temperature to caramelize my meat and then turn it down and let it roast for a few hours on a lower temperature so that it's easier to shred. So anyway, a little bit more water, put it in the oven, and we will come back in a little bit to show you how to do the chilies. I have 4 cups of water in this pot here. I'm going to boil them because we are going to rehydrate these chilies here. So see how they're all dry and stuff. Once you put them in there and hydrate, I can destem them, get all the seeds and stuff out of them. And I think I can probably do that before I get most of it out, before I put them in there. So this is the long method of doing this. You can buy the canned chilies in this Hispanic section. That's where you get those. You get those in the Hispanic section. So you can buy the canned chilies where you get like the green diced chilies, the diced jalapenos. They've got a dolly. And I know I'm not saying it correctly. Chilies and stuff in the sauce. And so what you do is you take the chilies out, and you take the seeds out, you open them up and you de-seed them and stuff, because if you leave the seed and the veins in it, then it's spicy. So you want to get all that seed and stuff out of them, and you use that sauce and you blend it all up. Well, what I'm going to do with this is rehydrate this and get most of the seeds out, everything out that I can get out of it, and then I blend it all up. So it needs to sit in the hot water for about 30 minutes. So that's why I said this is a timely thing to make, but it is delicious. They're so much better than the canned stuff. And the way these are made is like a special type of tamale that they make in Mexico and stuff. So I did not know that, and when I brought them to my my boss at work now, and he's like, how did you make these? I'm like, I just followed the directions that I was given in my newspaper and stuff. So he was amazed and thought they were very good. His wife likes my chicken ones better. And so you can do chicken. You can buy a chicken from Costco or whatever, the whole ones, and just kind of shred it all up and add whatever sauce to it and stuff. You can make cheese ones, all kinds of stuff. So let's get this to a boil. I'm going to de-seed these and stuff. I'll be right back. I was correct. You cannot de-seed those until they are rehydrated again. It's been a while since I've actually made chili sauce from actual chilies. I just kind of got lazy and started buying the canned stuff. So we're almost boiled here. I'm going to just pop those peppers in there, put a lid on for 30 minutes and let them rehydrate. We'll come back in a little bit and show you the process. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. It's been 1/2 hour. The roast is tightened up a little bit, browned a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that all too well. I'm going to just put the lid on there, turn the temperature down to 250, and we are going to bake it, roast it, whatever, for an hour at a time for the next 3 more hours. 3.5 more hours, probably. Chilies are still rehydrating. We'll show you how to do those here in a little bit. My chilies have hydrated. Hot water, so you want to be super careful. Like, you want to tear them open. And actually, I don't want to do it in this water because I want to save some of this water here. I'm going to take this here and do it over this because I want to take the stem off and basically de-seed this. See all those seeds in there? You can just kind of brush them right on out. And this one isn't as soft as I was hoping. These are, I don't think I've ever bought these chilies. These are it's gonna taste a little different than normal. And like I said, I've been using the canned stuff for such a long time because it's so much easier. You don't have to do this step here. Just drop it in a blender, food processor, if you have one of those. So I was gonna dump this stuff right into the garbage that's right below me, but this is a little bit easier to do. Some seeds in it are okay. You're not going to get all the seeds out of it. You can sure try. That water there, we're going to use some of that water and pour it into the blender and help blend this up into a paste. I don't know what that is. I'm going to peel that out. Ooh, seeds everywhere. So glad I didn't sweep the floor yet. I was going to do that, but I'll do that in a little bit. So we do this until all of these are done. This one here. Whoa. Whoops. See all that sauce? Ugh. See, I'm not going to get all the seeds out. It's a different smell than my other chilies that I used to use. There's all kinds of chilies, so I don't know what I bought. I don't know if these are going to work out okay. I'm sure they will. It's just a chili, right? Just going to make it a different flavor, maybe a different heat. I don't know. When you're making tamales, you don't want to add a lot of heat to them. This is the way I wanted it. This one's smushy. I think I got it all. So let me wash my hands. Look that's the color I want. We're going to add a little bit of water, not a lot because I don't want to make it too runny. Whoops. Pour. Make a mess. Turn that on. And we are going to puree it. So I want it on low. Not enough water. I'm going to get this. It's a little easier to scoop some of that water out with. I could just pour it right into the top if I wanted to, but I'm going to do a couple more scoops of water. I want it pasty, so we're going to do more. And actually, when my recipe calls for like a Dutch oven, and you hydrate all this and you put it all in with your roast and stuff while it's cooking, I said I do this differently. I do my roast and then I make my sauce and then add it, shred it, and add it all together. Let's see if it is the paste we want. Okay, that's pasty. That's what we want there. We're gonna add, we might not even add all of this to our sauce. You can freeze this in a Ziploc baggie and use a tablespoon at a time, because like I said, I don't know how spicy this is. So a tablespoon at a time to taste in your sauces, and then you could add more or less if you want. But when you freeze it in the freezer, you put it in a Ziploc baggie and you smoosh it down to like the bottom of it, and you roll it up and stuff so it doesn't get any air in it, and you put it in the freezer. And then when you need it, you take it and you chunk off pieces of it for what you need. Like, you know, a chunk is almost like a tablespoon. It's really cool. So that's what my sauce looks like, my paste. So we won't use all of this, but we'll show you what we're going to do with it. Okay, we are actually going to put this away into here now. So it helps to get a little glass. It doesn't have to fit completely. I kind of tore that, so don't tear it. But make it so that you can just kind of pour it or scoop it into the bottom easily without making a huge mess. I could have made it a little bit smoother, but we're just going to put this away for now because I still have my roast in the oven, and it hasn't even been 1 hour yet. Well, it's been an hour, not an hour in the low temperature. Hard to get the rest out of the bottom of that where the blade is. But get all of it, all the good stuff. I guess I could take it apart from the bottom, huh? And get the rest of it out, right? I gotta clean it anyway, so there we go. Get the rest of that out of, just throw it on the counter. That's okay. Messy, messy. Okay, so that is the end of that. Down to the bottom. I'm gonna just roll it out. All right. Seal it up. And then when you need it, it's going to be frozen, right? Frozen in that. And when you need it, you just take it and chunk it on your counter, and it basically chunks off what you need. So I'm going to actually put this in the refrigerator, let it cool. I need some of it. I don't want to freeze it yet. So I'm going to take out about a tablespoon, maybe more, depending on how spicy this is. I don't know. I've never tried these chilies. We'll find out.
1 hour later.
Ooh, that has been 1 hour. Looking good. Yum, they smell delicious.
2 hours later.
Wow, look at that. It has been 2 hours now, and see, the roast's not quite ready there, but oh, they shrunk a lot, haven't they? Wow, look at those juices. I'm gonna use some of that juice to make my sauce with. Yum. Smells like a roast, but with a little spicy kick to it with that cumin and pepper. Oh, yum. I have done so many things today waiting for this roast to get done. This is my pot that I do some of my water bathing in. I'm going to take, I got a whole bunch of these corn husks, and they are too hard to roll up and make your tamales out of. So you're gonna dump them in a pot of water and let them, these ones are nice because they're nice and big and flat. I don't always find these ones. I don't know where I found these ones at actually. But you're gonna just add some water to them and let them soak for an hour or so until they get pliable. These ones here, I don't know if these are the same ones. Because some of them are really, really small. And I believe it's these ones. See how little? You can't make a tamale out of that. And I used to make, not out of these ones, but like these ones. And then all my tamales were different sizes and stuff. And Angela, my boss, told me how to make them all one size. Like these are all going to be one size. These are not. Like I said, I found these after using these for so long and having little itty bitty tamales and big tamales and little itty bitty tamales and big tamales. And it was just funny. So anyway, I have done the laundry. I've swept the floor. I've started my, made my little sauce. Not my sauce yet, but I made my paste, my chili paste, so that I can make my sauce that'll come next. But we want to get these soaked and get them pliable, and we'll show you how to assemble them all later. Step by step. It's step by step. Normally, if this is frozen, you would see, the chili I normally use is more of a reddish color. This is a different chili. I still haven't tried it yet. I'm scared. So normally, okay, coming out of the freezer, you would chunk on the side and break it off what you want and stuff. I'm going to take a scoop. That's about a tablespoon. I'm going to put it in there. And when it's frozen, you want to warm it up and bring out that flavor. So you'll smell, once you smell it, you want to add your tomato sauce to it. That's really good. different flavor. It is a different flavor, different chili, different flavor. So yeah, add your tomato sauce to it. If you want, you can add some salt to it at this time. I'm going to add some seasoning salt to it. We're going to warm it up just a little bit to incorporate it. And once the meat is done, and I'm probably going to need, because I have 2 roasts, I'm going to need 2 of these. Some seasoning salt, some garlic, basically all the flavors I added to my roast, I'm going to add to this. I'm not going to add any chili powder to it. No chili pepper, just some cumin. Just a little bit of cumin to it. A little onion. And when that roast comes out, we might add a little bit more juice to it just to loosen it up a bit, to incorporate it, like I said, to the meat. So this is going to be our chili sauce that we're going to add to our meat. We're just going to stir that around, warm it up just a little bit. Make sure it gets all together. Yum, 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 yum. And I might just add another can of tomato sauce to this and more chili flavor, depending on how much meat I actually have. But we're going to start off with this for now. I don't want to have too much sauce. You don't want it too saucy. We'll come back later. Lots of steps here.
Three hours later.
Okay. Wow, it's been 3 hours. Look at that. You know what? I'm going to pull it out. It's done. Maybe half hour longer. That meat just came right off of that. We're just basically gonna just tear this up with our fork and shred it. If there's any meat in there we don't want to eat, we'll pull that out. If there's any fat in there we don't want, we'll pull that out. But usually when you cook it low and slow, it cooks most of the fat off of it. See, there's just a little bit. That's okay to have a little bit of fat in there. You don't want like gristle and icky stuff to bite into. You want to bite into all good meat. So we're going to shred all of this up and add that tomato sauce that I made with my pepper paste. Oh, I lost a piece of meat there. We'll come back in a little bit after all of this is shredded, and I will show you how to put it together, make the mesa, and put the tamales together. Step by step. I have shredded 4 pounds of meat. I want to make sure it's in smaller pieces. You don't want big old chunks of meat in there. So there's like some big long pieces. You want to cut those in half if you can, or make sure it's just a little bit smaller. Kind of did that when I was shredding it. It was really, really hot when I first pulled it out. So now I can go through and get the fat out of it if I accidentally found or left a piece on the meat and stuff. Let's kind of go through and make them smaller, bite size. They'll fit in your tamales a little bit easier. I mean, don't pull all the meat out when you take a bite. So I've got the sauce over here, which I told you I'm probably going to have to make more. I'm going to just dump this in, see how much I've got. And my husband was eating my shredded beef and dipping it in the sauce. He said it's very good. So not too spicy. The peppers are good. Okay. I know my little spatula is not working very well. Stir that around. I'm going to use the fork. I don't want it too saucy. I want it saucy, but not too saucy. So I'm probably going to do a little bit more tomato sauce and pepper stuff. The same mixture I made before to put on this meat. One more batch will be too much. So I'm probably going to do like a half a batch and put that on there. So it's saucy, but not too saucy. We've got some juices over here. I might just save that. I don't think we're going to need it because we don't want this too liquidy. Okay, the next step, you definitely want to have these out and dried, separated. I drained the water already, but I need that pot for my steaming of my tamales. So we're going to set these all out, get them kind of dried off because you don't want that water. Make sure there's nothing in between them. Sometimes there's little bugs. You never know. You know, these get pressed and dried together. They are actually from the United States in California. So I need probably about, I did 4 pounds of meat. So probably said 20 to 30 per 2 pounds, I think is what my recipe said. So we're just going to pull out a whole bunch of these big ones. The little ones we will use to line our pot with. So those ones can actually stay wet. We don't need them to dry like these ones here and stuff. I'm not going to use for my tamales, and they're tearing quite easily. So we'll just line our pot with those. But we do want the big ones, which I make too many corn husks. I'd rather have too many than not enough, because then I gotta stop and soak some more and stuff. I've had to do that before, so I'll be back in a little bit to make our mesa. I'm going to use this big pot and my steaming basket. I've got 5 pennies I have washed really good with soap and water. You put that in the bottom of your pot, your steamer basket, and you're going to put water in the bottom of that, because we need water to steam with. I'm not sure how deep this is, so we'll find out. You don't want to put too much water in because then it boils, and you don't want to boil. You want to steam. So I did 2 cups. I'm going to do... It depends on your pot and your steam basket, how deep it is. So I did 2.5 cups there. This is what I was talking about your corn husks and stuff. I don't know what this is here. It could be mold. I don't know. So I'm not going to use that. But the rest of them are pretty clean. And what you do with the little pieces is you line the bottom of your pot. And I know you guys can't see what I'm doing here, so I'm going to just do a few and kind of show you. Oops, I forgot I've got water in it. So I'm going to line this up, and when I'm done, I'll show you. You want to cover all the bottom of the holes and I don't know why. This is how I've been doing it, so that my tamales don't get water in them. I just want the steam and stuff, so I just kind of line them around. And let me put one more in, and I will show you guys, or I'll bring the camera down. Oh, that's a big one. I'm saving that one. Okay, hold on. That's a nice thick one. Let's do this. So line it. Okay, so I've got it all around the edges and on the bottom. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see how it's lined all the way around and the bottom, and we are going to make the mesa. Our next step is to make the mesa. I'm making a double batch here, so I don't have to stop and make more. This is 1 cup of lard. I need 2 cups of lard. So we will finish this container here. My recipe called for, it said pork lard, so you can probably use bacon. I've never used bacon grease for it, but you probably use bacon grease. And when I was reading the ingredients, this is a different bag that I got. It's the same bag, but it's different. It's weird. It's different than what I'm used to. So I'm just gonna go with what I remember, and I use shortening. It's probably not good for you, but this is what I make my pies with, my biscuits with. And we need 2 cups of shortening. I'll level it out. There's a little pocket there, so just a little bit above is okay. So we're gonna scrape that in there. We are going to put in 8 cups. I'm gonna set this down and start whipping it up. Start whipping that up. So it's 8 cups of this masa. So I've got, the beater is in my way. That beater is in my way. I'm going to try this a little bit towards you. There. That's 1. Make a mess. 2. I've never used this mixer before. I hope it fits all of it in it. I've always used my KitchenAid. 3. 4. And this is the color I use. 5. I'm going to stop right there and turn it on and get it slowly mixing. This is 3 teaspoons of salt. We're going to add that. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Turn that off. There, it's out of my way. 5. I did 5. We're going to go 6. 7. 8. That's a lot. And I want to scrape the sides, make sure that grease, it's going to get crumbly. But I want all that oil mixed in to that masa. Masa. Okay, let's put this back down. I already messed up. I knew I was doing it wrong. I was supposed to mix all the dry ingredients first and then slowly add the lard and water mixture to it. Let's hope we didn't mess this up, guys, okay? I really screwed up. So we're going to add our liquid to this, and I'm going to pour in some chicken broth, and we'll just mix it around until it looks like a paste. I knew I did this wrong. It's been a while. Okay, I added quite a bit of liquid, but it's still not quite pasty. But I want to get the sides scraped so that the shortening's not on it. It's getting almost pasty, but this is really super dry. I can almost tell by the texture. So we'll put this back down. So this is almost the texture we need. And I'm going to grab a cup of water really fast and see if it will float. If it floats, it's ready. If not, I need to add a little bit more liquid to it. Just a little. Nope, it's floating. Look at that. I think I'm just going to do just a little bit more liquid because it's salt. Only supposed to be a little bit? No? I'm going to add more liquid. I really messed up, you guys. It needs 6 cups of water. Wow, that's a lot. I've never done this before. I always go by the fill, and you can make a paste out of it. Just a little bit more water, guys. Whoops. That's a lot. So I'm going to cover this mesa up so it doesn't dry out and kind of clean up my mess a little bit. And we'll be back here in just a little bit. I'll show you how to put it all together. I had to add just a little bit more liquid to my mesa because there just wasn't enough on there because I went to spread it and it was not spreading. So you want it to spread. Probably, and I actually go towards you. And you went. See, I still need more liquid. That's why you're supposed to add liquid and lard and liquid and lard and liquid and lard and liquid and lard. But I added more liquid and I mixed it with my hands and it felt like it was soft enough to spread. Sometimes I use a spatula to spread this with and it spreads easier. Let's see. It's like this. See? And then you take your meat. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to overfill it. And then you go like so. Like you want it to meet. But, and then you can, oh wait, roll it. And then I take the bottom and I go like this. And I take these. And you go like this. Yes, it has been so long since I have made this. Tamale. Okay, and then you stick it upright in here. And you just line them. So we'll do a couple more of these. Let's hope. About this much. See? I gotta get back into it again. It's been a while, right? If I haven't, it's funny because if I don't do it all the time, I forget how to do it. It's like, but it's like riding a bicycle. Once you have done it, you remember how to do it more. I've got a lot to do here, so we are gonna get our hands messy. I think that's why it's easier to have either a few people doing this. Like I need to put just a little bit more. Let's put a little bit more on there so that it covers the whole dang thing on the edge here. See, like that. And then it wraps around like so. We're gonna roll it this way this time. And kind of stuff that a little too full. Number 2. Don't pull it too tight because if you pull it too tight, then you'll break it. And just kind of set it in there back and forth so it doesn't knock your thing over. Stick up. That's why I said some of them are bigger than others. I could make them all really big if I wanted to. Whoops. Let me show you what I mean in a second. So these might be a little dry. I won't cook them. I probably won't need to steam them as long. Like normally I make it, I think, too wet sometimes. And I have to steam them longer so that the dough cooks. Look at that. Roll that up. I've got like 15 of these little ties already. I'll show you how I make these little ties here. 3. So you take one that's not very good, right? And just tear them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's how you get your little ties for your tamales to make them look a little pretty. I used to just not tie them at all and just throw them in there, and they'd fall apart on me. I don't know. Probably my bosses probably told me how to do this, because she was talking with my husband. My husband was bragging that I can make tamales and good Hispanic food and stuff, and I kind of overheard them talking about it, and I heard her giggle, and I was like, oh, I can make tamales. I'll bring some in for you. And so I made them, and you know, every time I make them for a Hispanic person, they always give me tips and pointers on how to make them, which I love. I will take constructive criticism anytime you eat my food. If you don't like it this way and you think it'll taste better this way, I will try it. Doesn't mean I'll like doing it that way. I might try it and not like it. So anyway, the first time I made these, I didn't put any salt in the mesa at all, because I didn't like salt. I'm not a huge salt person, right? And they're like, everything was really, really good. Perfect for the kiddos, not too spicy, perfect and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. The only thing was the mesa needed salt. More salt is what they said. And I'm like, well, probably needed salt altogether, right? Because I didn't put any salt in it at all. So now I salt my food. And I could add more liquid to that. I have some more, but I saved it. So if we want to like dip our tamales in the liquid or something, if it needs more liquid, I guess we can add some to it if they're too dry. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm hoping they're not going to be too dry. Okay, so I've got 4 of these already made. I'm going to make some more and come back and show you guys how to steam them, I guess. So like I said, it's an all-day process. Sometimes it's a 2-day process if you want to break it up into a couple days. Make your roast on one day, or your chicken one day, a couple chickens. And then the next day make your filling and stuff, and make your mesa and make your tamales. But I started early this morning. It's now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. These will be ready for dinner. I fit about 20, I'm thinking maybe 19 tamales in this pot. I wish it was bigger because I've got a lot more to make, but we're going to get it on right now, get it simmering, and I'll come back in just a little bit and let you hear what those pennies sound like inside, because they will start making a noise in there, and once that noise stops, you need to add a little bit more water. And you don't want to lift the lid off of these too often, because it lets the steam out of it and stuff. So we were going to turn this on about medium-high heat, because I want it to boil, but I don't want it to boil too fast, because I don't want that water to boil out. So we'll come back in a little bit and let you hear that noise once it starts boiling. I also set a timer for like every 15 minutes to make sure it's still making that noise. If it's not making that noise, then you need to add a little bit more water to it to steam it. We're going to steam them for about an hour. Had to add lots and lots of water to this. It's been an hour. We are going to let them cool for about 15 minutes. I'm going to take one out and check them and make sure that they are done.
And action.
I have my homemade refried beans here, so we're gonna put just a little bit runnier. They're really hot right now, so I'll put a little bit on the plate. And I'm gonna grab 2 tamales. And we'll open those up and show you what they look like. That was the one that I wrapped 2 in there. So there's 1 tamale. Two tamales. Can add some cheese. A little bit of cheese to that. Some lettuce. Got some onion. And, ooh, I don't have any salsa. I don't think I have any salsa. Ooh, I have some sriracha. I'll be right back. Little sriracha. If you like ketchup, put some ketchup on it. And a little sour cream. I'm just gonna get a little bite there. Put a little bit of stuff on it. Yum. Mmm.
That little Siamese is out here.
Ooh, that's perfect. Okay. Mmm. I messed up making the dough just a little bit. So I will remake the dough and make some chicken tamales maybe next time. They are so good though. And I will show you how to make those refried beans. Yum. Homemade.